everybody, back in the kitchen again. I've got a day off, so today I'm going to be making pork meatballs. I've done the turkey ones before, so we're doing pork meatballs, and we're going to serve that with a mustard sauce and rice and broccoli with it as well. So I'm preparing the meatballs now, the pork meatballs now, because I like to, again, like I've said before with things, when you're using different kinds of sauces with it, I like the flavour to infuse. So I have got ground coriander, I've got Tabasco sauce, soy sauce. I'm using light sauce, but it's entirely up to yourself. I've already finely chopped a red onion and a couple of cloves of garlic. Again, if you prefer white onions, that's fine as well. And then I've got 500 grams of lean pork mince, so it's a 5% one. So I've got my bowl, so I'm going to start with these ingredients. So I'm going to add the soy sauce. Now it's round about 4 tablespoons of soy sauce that I'm putting in, because I've done this for a long time and I can't get the lid off. Because I've done this for a long time, I know roughly how much that's going to be in here. But if you want to measure it out, then measure it out yourself, but I'm doing this from what normal. So that's about 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. To that I'm going to add just a couple of dashes of the Tabasco sauce. Okay, so 2 or 3 dashes of that. And then I'm going to add just a teaspoon of ground coriander. Okay, so I'm adding that in there. Okay. And then to that, I'm just going to add the mix, and that will be soaking in the juices while I cook the onions. Just putting that in there. I'm just going to use this spoon now, and I'm just going to mix that in, and it will start soaking that up while I'm cooking the onions. So that's just, you can see that's just the colours just mixing in. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that like that for now, and leave that to mix in. And then I'm going to go over to the oven and I'm going to turn the pan on. Okay, so I've got my pan there. I've just had some oil heating up, and to that I'm just going to add the garlic and onions, and we're just going to fry these until they're a little bit soft and brown. So we'll just get them frying up. You don't want them burned, so just be careful with the garlic, because garlic can burn. So don't have your pan on too hot. Like I say, they are just a little bit, making it a little bit softer just to go in the meatballs. Okay, so those are just being softened off nicely, so they're about done now, and they just need adding into the pork mince and the sauces. So I'm just going to take them over now and get them in. Okay, so I'm just going to add the onions in to the mix. Just get that out of there. And I'm just going to now mix the onions in as much as I can, get that all mixed together. And then once those is mixed in, I'm just going to form them into meatballs, and I've got my plate, and I'm going to put them on the plate and then put them into the fridge. I like to do that, like I say, I like to do them on the morning, and I like to make them into the meatballs just so it makes them easier, because not only does the flavours infuse during sort of being in the fridge, but it makes the meatballs stick together a little bit more when you're going in the pan. So that's about it mixed up there. So I've just mixed, probably don't know whether you notice, but the colour has changed slightly of the pork with the sauces and everything that I've used. So I'm just going going to get my hands. I've already washed my hands. I'm just going to now make these into little meatballs. You can have them as little or as small you want. That's the beauty of making them yourself. They don't have to be tiny, or they can be large. You don't even have to make them into meatballs, to be honest. You could have them as burgers. You could make them into burgers and use the sauce that I'm going to be making as well. Just get that done, then I'll come back to you when these are all made. So that's my meatballs all done. As you can see, they're all different sizes. We like them quite big, but they're all on the plate now, and they're just going to go in the fridge, and they're going to sit in the fridge there until we're ready to use them at tea time. And then we'll get the mustard sauce and everything ready when these is cooking away. Okay, so we're ready to get the tea all made now. So I've taken the meatballs out of the fridge. So I'm going to get them cooking in a little bit into the pan. Okay, so they've just been getting all the flavours infused into there. We've got the rice ready to go on for the Tefal cook for me, which is to go with these. I'm just going to bring them over and get these on now. Okay, so I've just put some oil in the pan. I'm going to get this ring heating up, get the oil heating up. While I'm waiting that to heat up, in here I've just got steaming some broccoli, and we love curly kale. So we've got the broccoli and curly kale, and that's going to go with our rice. And we've got peas and sweet corn in there. So once we get this heated up, I'm going to get the meatballs in, cooking off. And so that's putting those in now. Sizzling away. Nice. The soonest ring there, so let's put it in there. Turn that down a little bit. And then we're just going to cook those in the pan, and then when they're just about cooked, about just over 5 minutes, we'll do the mustard sauce, which is going to go over the top. So I'll just get them cooked off. We'll come back a little bit when they've browned off a little bit. So these is just cooking away nicely now. I mean, you can see the juices that's come off that, and I haven't added any water. That's the juices that's coming off. Beautiful. And I'm going to cook the sauce in those juices. So I'm just turning these over now, just getting them a little bit more browned off. But they're coming on nicely. Okay, so these is cooked. We've just put the oven on just a low heat at the minute, just to keep these warm, because I'm going to use what's left of these juices in the pan to make the sauce. Okay, so I'm now just getting ready to do the sauce, the mustard sauce. So I'm just mixing together my stock. So I've got 2 chicken stock cubes in there with 300 ml of water, and I'm just mixing that up to dissolve the stock cubes. And then what we're going to do, I've got 100 ml. Now we use the Greek yogurt. I've said this before, we use Greek yogurt. You could use fromage frais or ordinary yogurt. I've got whole grain mustard, and I've got the Coleman's powder. Okay, so I'm just mixing that together. And then I've just got a teaspoon of water, because I need to mix the powder in there. Okay, so into the teaspoon of water, I'm just going to put half a teaspoon of mustard powder. You could use, instead of the mustard powder, I suppose you could just get the English mustard, but I prefer the mustard powder to do that. So that's mixed in. Okay. And now we're just going to go back over to the cooker to get everything together and get the sauce made. Okay, so into what's left from our meatballs, I'm just going to add the 300 ml of stock, which I've made up. I'm going to add that into there. I'm going to add the mustard powder, which I've mixed up. And then also to that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of whole grain mustard. Okay. And then I'm just going to get that boiled up, and I'm going to boil it briskly for about 3 to 4 minutes. So we'll just get that mixed up and boiled away, and then when it's just about ready, we'll come back. So that's just going to boil away nicely. Like I say, you can see the sauces on there. Lovely. So that's the sauce. You can see the sauce has been just reducing down a little bit. That's been on there for about just over 3 minutes. So what I'm going to do before the yogurt gets added right at the end, but we take it off the heat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get everything else served out and then just put the yogurt in at the last minute. Those are the meatballs. So I'm just going to get some meatballs on the plate now. Get them served out. Some of these, because we've got a few, we're going to freeze them, which they're great for freezing because it's all fresh. We're just putting 3 on each there. And we're just going to go back to the sauce on the hob. Okay, so we're just finishing the sauce off now, so I'm just going to bring that off the heat, and just the final part is adding the yogurt. This is what makes it creamy, so I'm just going to stir that in. Just keep stirring briskly. Like I say, with yogurt it can curdle and split, so you can see it's starting to make it looks creamy. So mix that in, and then I'm just going to, so that's all mixed in. That's lovely. So now all it needs is just to spoon this lovely sauce over the top of the meatballs. I'll just do that one. Lovely. See, ideal for what we need. So if you like what you see, please like, subscribe. As we always say, it always helps our channel. If there's anything else you want, let us know, because there will be more recipes coming soon. So hopefully you enjoyed what you're doing there, making the recipe that we made today. Take care everybody, bye.